Last Cloudia community. It's collaboration time. Get ready. We are proud to present the Devil May Cry 5 collaboration. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we finally get our second video game collab. Now, for those who don't remember, the first one we had was Secret of Mana. And so now we get Devil May Cry 5. Very hype, super hype for this collab. For those who don't know what Devil May Cry is, while we get this loaded, this is an action packed game series that actually started back in 2001, which was the year I graduated. Really showing my age here. But it was a really, really awesome game. I have a friend who's obsessed with the whole series in general. I liked it casually, but it was one of those things where I could play it once and move on. But I know people that are super into it. This is definitely one of those things that's been around for a while. And the Devil May Cry 5, even though I haven't played number 5, I've heard nothing but good things from the people that I know. Really cool stuff. Dante is one of the characters that's playable. He was actually the original in the first one, all the way up to the present. And the other raid that I know about Dante is the simple fact that I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate and all that. And of course, Dante was a top tier character that I used in my team. So obviously, I'm going to know a lot about it. But anyway, back to some last Cloudia collaboration. Which character did you pull when you got your unit ticket? I'll show you what I got. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's that boy V right there. Absolutely. Whoops, as I hit the wrong button. But yes, I was able to pull V this morning. At first, I was disappointed because of the fact that I was actually wanting Dante. But as I looked over this person's skills, it's pretty cool. So we'll go over that here in a moment. So let's go ahead and hit up the gotcha. You know how we do this. We got a lot to talk about, by the way. A lot of characters, a lot of arcs, and a lot of equipment. So let's get right to it. So we're going to first start off with Dante, obviously. Let's take a look at his stats. We're looking at 12, 22 strength with 11, 18 defense. So pretty good on the offense and the defense right there. Physical all the way. Some decent HP at 5884. Elements and attribute resistances are kind of just, up and down. Nothing really crazy to talk about. Now for his skills, you can tell he's a fire-based character. Like all of the skills are fire related. So, not too much to go over there. In terms of traits, this is where things get a little more interesting. You got the Devil Power, fire attack damage plus 25%, cap 2000. When special activates, HP cap 50%, and recover HP, strength plus 50%, and then fire attack damage cap 3000. So, before the special, you're getting the 25% to your fire attack and then your 2k for the damage cap. And then after the special is when things escalate. So it's pretty cool. He's awesome and he becomes even better when he's special. Now, the second trait, Devil Arm Talent, equip weapons, strength, and intelligence plus 50%. When sword, claw, or machine is equipped, physical damage cap 1500. So there you have it. You're definitely going to be doing that. You want that extra damage. He is the powerhouse physical damage dealer related specifically to fire. Let's take a look at his actual skills here and some magic apparently. Oh yeah, he has some styles. So Trickster style, we'll start with that. Unit move speed up. SET recovery 15%, which is good. Chance to avoid physical attacks. Doesn't stack with other styles. So basically, you're only going to do one of these at a time. Obviously, you'll be switching back and forth as needed. Or what you can do is if there's one style you prefer over the rest, just as a constant, just only leave one of them equipped and then let the other two just not be active. That's all. That's really the simple way to do it. That's kind of what I did with Balin because he has some stances or whatever. I would only just equip the one I needed. And that's kind of what you could do here if you don't want to have a random one if you're playing on auto. So the next style is Sword Master style. You got unit physical attack damage 15%, break plus 50%, break damage 25%. That right there is super strong. That's probably the one that I would keep on if I had to choose one of the three. At least, well, for the two that I've read. That's if you're really going for that boss and breaking stuff, that's the one to use. And then you have Royal Guard style. Unit defense of mind plus 25%, HP cap 2k. I don't know where this would be necessary, but I guess there are some times that might call for it. Again, I'm really digging the Swordmaster style more than anything else. The second best really is a Trickster one. I mean, getting the speed up, the SCT, you may want to start off with that actually, the Trickster style. And then once you build up some meter, then switch over to the Swordmaster. I think that's going to be a really good thing for you. I mean, if you're being super active and just controlling Dante, you may want to activate this when you get low. Maybe, I don't know. That one I'm not too sure about, but it's still pretty cool either way. As far as passive skills, he has Fighting Spirit 3, which we've seen before, strength and HP increased by 8%. You got Resolve up 3, which is the defense and mind version, plus 8%. You have Royal Armor, which basically stops crits from happening. You have Devil Hunter. Physical attacks are effective against beasts, creatures, spirits, and undead. This is almost like a Slayer, except for it doesn't have the Slayer title, which means you don't get the boost from Special Boost. Which kind of, I don't know, I would like that. I mean, unless they are just going to count it, I would be nice, but I don't know if they're going to count it or not. This should be considered a Slayer, but I don't know if the devs are actually doing it like that or not. So I would say do a little research on that to see if that will actually activate with Special Boost. I hope it does because he actually does come with Special Boost. So I'd like to believe that it works. I don't know. But if they're going to put it together like that, it just looks like it. He also comes with auto haste, which is fantastic to have for free. I feel like any good unit should be using auto haste, especially if it's one of your favorites. He has pride, which we've seen before. Fire high drive, really good. Fire physical attack, special power, 30%, really good. Fire attack raise, which we've seen before, really good. Pose of honor, blessed speed is always good, especially if you're playing on auto or doing arena. They can actually attack more often. You got sword boost and sword high boost, so very good on that damage. Trigger heart, which is very unique. Attack specials have a chance to cause critical damage, and in special damage plus 30%. Very, very strong. And this is part of why you want to get that auto haste, and you want to find anything else that can just, up the speed of your SCT as much as possible. You want to rush to get to that special. He's one of those kind of characters. He also has Combo Master and Combo Master 2. Now, I believe there is, was it Sevia? Like Thunderbolt Sevia, I think has number 2. I'm not too sure. I know she has number 1, but I don't remember if she has 2 on her ultimate form. But either way, pretty cool. When you're doing combos, you just get more damage. And you definitely want to focus on those combos. Dante's really good with that, I believe. Chance Strike, which is decent. If you're basically breaking an enemy, you're getting 20% more defense or faded. Break Boost and Breaker. So obviously, this character is going to be a breaker because it's built into his tree. So really, really wonderful. And then the final one is Charge Shot. When physically attacking, chance to greatly lower enemies' defense, deal damage. When using attack skills, chance to use 2% of your max MP for damage plus 30%. So this is almost like Sharp Eyes, in all honesty. Pretty cool ability. Something that I would recommend, assuming that this procs very often, you may want to consider what is it, Goddess Kiss, that increases your MP by 2% every now and then. That's a good way to kind of balance that so you can always get that ability going. Really good combo, something to consider in your build. But overall, I think this is a fantastic character. And I'm not just talking about because of the fact that I'm familiar with the character due to fighting games and its own game, but like I said, he's a boss. I'm all about like someone that can deal with bosses, and this is like the character for that as far as out of the three. So yeah, I definitely think he's the highest tier. Of course, it's a collab unit; they're gonna be good. I mean, that's just the pattern that's always been around. Like collab characters are always great. The only ones that are even out of date nowadays is just Secret of Mana. Like I think Randy is the only character from Secret of Mana that's still somewhat relevant, and even he's gotten outclassed by like Balin and a couple others. But the other two, Prim and Papoy, unfortunately, are almost not even seen anymore. But other than those two characters, every other collab character is still really, really good and has their uses, has their place in a lot of people's hearts. So, but back to Dante, he's good. You want him, especially if you need a good physical DPS character, and especially if you're looking for a boss battle or a breaker. That's your guy. Number two, let's talk about Mr. Nero. Now, this person's stats are kind of similar. They got 1310 on the strength, 1066 on defense, so it's looking like physical as well. Uh, HP at 4975, which is alright. So, decent stats overall. Now, as far as his skills are concerned, we're looking at a combination of things. So, aerial combo is frontal medium area fire combo attack, throws enemies into the air. Now, that's very important to know because basically that's what this guy does. He wants to put the enemies in the air and then deal tons of damage that way. So, keep that in mind because the whole air thing is going to matter when you look at a skill kit. Second ability, Overture. Pull in an enemy for a frontal medium area thunder combo attack. Move unit if unpullable. Basically, there are certain characters in the game, especially like big characters that just can't be put in the air or move too much. Uh, that's kind of what they're talking about here. Certain boss battles or whatnot, or big or walls or whatever. Helter Skelter whirlwind attack through enemies with a frontal wide area earth combo attack, and then of course the special, which is going to be Showdown, powerful combo attack on one enemy. But the main thing that you're probably going to be focused on is aerial combo. You're probably going to be doing the skill one or skill charge one. I mean, and you'll see why once we go further. Looking at the traits, Double Breaker, or you could just say DB. Battlestar, get buff from a set DB when taking damage, and then chance it breaks and switches to another DB. Won't reactivate once broken. Higher trait level lowers break chance. Okay. Because you're going to be learning this a lot in your skill tree, so the more you learn it, the less chance you have of it breaking. So basically, it's going to be switching automatically. And then the Red Queen is a continuous haste effect, sword equip, physical damage plus 35%, physical damage cap 3000. So the continuous haste effect is pretty cool. I mean, you might as well just give them auto haste, but maybe they didn't want to do that because they wanted to add other skills, so they just kind of added it to a trait. Very, very sneaky. I got you. But yeah, no, this is actually pretty good too. Let's take a look at his skills. We have Fighting Spirit 4, which is basically strength and HP 10%. Crit up 2 and 3. He's got Advanced Aim Vitals and Proud Force, so he's definitely got a good chunk of that crit package. You're just missing Crit up 1 and then regular Aim Vitals. Then, yes, they do stack. We got Devil Hunter. This is the physical attack and effects against beasts, creatures, spirits, and undead. Are really good. We got Auto Brave, Auto Crit. We got Awaken. We got Sky High 2. Now, this is the damage to airborne enemies plus 30%. So, this is what I was talking about earlier as far as like his first skill throwing them in the air. You're going to be getting some good damage. One from Sky High 2. You can even equip Sky High 1 and it'll still stack and do all that good stuff. You have Air Hike. Damage plus 30% and crit rate 10% against airborne enemies. Like I said earlier, he's all about that air stuff. He's got Bless Speed, he's got Dual Wield, he's got Sword Boost and Machine Boost with Machine High Boost. So you're obviously going to be wanting to throw some machine on him. I would recommend Trishula as the machine. Really, really good, especially if you're trying to avoid some attribute resistance. Really good to have. You got Ultimate Boost, you got Quick Trigger, which is really good. You got Giant Killing. This is the skill and special damage to bosses plus 20%. Obviously, he's another boss killer. You got DB Overture, which is physical damage plus 20%. When active DB, chance for skill attacks to deal extra thunder damage and stun. You also have DB Helter Skelter, which is the crit damage plus 30%. When active Devil Breaker or DB, chance for physical attacks to greatly lower defense and deal damage. Crit rate 10%. You got DB Tomboy, which is physical special damage cap 3000. When active DB, skill damage plus 40%, break plus 50%, which is pretty crazy actually. And then DB Buster Arm, not the, I mean, they're all kind of crazy, but anyway. Special, I'm sorry, attack specials have a chance to crit. Special damage 80%. When active DB, HP cap 5,000. Strength of defense plus 50%. This guy is full of just give me some more damage, give me some crits, give me all that stuff. That's what this is. It's pretty cool. I'm thinking that multiple of these could be used. I don't think it's like Dante where you can only have one at a time active. I want to say, well, I don't know because the DB says Battlestar get buffed from a set double. Okay, so you're only getting one at a time it seems. And then when you take damage, it can basically switch to another one. Okay, so you only get one at a time. Just wanted to confirm that. Again, really good unit. Again, a good boss slayer. This is one of those characters that, if you have Dante, you don't need him, but if you have him, you don't need Dante kind of a thing. If you have both, it's just an added bonus, but, he's kind of in the same list for me. I would use him mainly for boss battles. That's pretty much it. But otherwise, he's still pretty good, pretty strong. Again, he's a collab character. He's going to be top tier. That's just what it is. But really, really good. Let's talk about the last character, the one that I pulled. Yes, that's your boy V. Gee, I wonder what the V stands for. For anyone that knows the lore, you probably understand who this is supposed to be. Apparently, he separated his human self from another form, and this is the end result of it. Uh, Going into kind of spoilery territory in the game itself, so play the game if you're really interested in this backstory and who he is. But anyway, so looking at his stats, first off, he's a sniper. Gotta let you know they actually finally made a pretty strong sniper. So let's see what he's doing here. Notice his strength and intelligence is both over 1,000. We got 1083 for strength, 1026 for intelligence, mind 1067. So overall, he's got like the best as far as stats in a more balanced manner. But you might think, why intelligence and strength? Well, we're gonna find out. All right, so let's take a look at his abilities. Now, this is going to be mostly dark damage, but his skill 1 is front wide area thunder combo attack. But all of the other attacks are going to be basically dark damage. So if you're wanting to get like an attack raise, definitely a dark attack raise is probably going to be the way to go, since he's going to be benefiting from dark more than thunder. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at his traits. We have Devil Summoner. SET recovery speed 10%, physical special damage plus 25%, damage cap 3,000. And he just gets this. It's pretty good. Good passive there. Nightmare Manifestation. Battle start. Lower all enemies' status ailment resistance. Damage to enemies with status ailments 20% plus 20%. Physical attack break damage to bosses with status ailments 50%. Again, another good boss battler. The thing with this guy, though, that I really, really love, he basically has a Nulla Melth at the start of battle. You don't even have to cast it. It's just going to be there. Obviously, it's going to be a limited time, but that's pretty awesome that it starts off with that. Well, yeah, because the Nulla Melth pretty much does the same thing. It lowers their resistance to elements. So yeah, he gets that right at the start, no MP cost, and then he gets obviously some extra damage, which is really, really cool. He's getting basically a Terra Mouth built in here to some degree, with the bonus of doing some additional break damage. So that's really, really awesome. I like this a lot. Let's go ahead and take a look at his skills to see how much he further messes everybody up. So he has a Nulla Melth. So for those of you like myself who just recently pulled Logia, we no longer have to give Logia a Nulla Melth. You can use a Nulla Melth skills for something else. Give Logia something better just to kind of help what he does, whether his speed or his damage. And then let this guy do the Nulla Melth for you. And Logia can just kind of go to town while he's doing that. It's pretty awesome. So once this guy's trait wears off, cast a little Melth just to keep the resistance, continuing, or the resistance down. This Nulla Melth could potentially stack with the trait because they're considered two different names, so there's a chance that maybe you could potentially lower it more. I'm not too sure on that, but it would be kind of cool if it did. Like kind of like you'll basically get a -2 to them instead of just a -1. So that could be pretty good. That means that they'll have a higher chance than normal to get those debuffs on them if they started off, let's say, immune or something. So we'll have to test that to see if they actually stack or not. But either way, it's still pretty cool. He also comes with a spell book that costs 0 MP, temporarily take 35% damage, but deal physical damage 50%. SAT recovery speed 25%, and crit rate 15%. I highly recommend casting that like as soon as possible. Why? Well, more than likely you're gonna have a healer in your party, so you're not worried about taking too much damage. And then, of course, if you're doing the crit package with, say, I don't know, Proud Force, that will help you sustain. And there's some other abilities he may already have naturally that'll help you sustain. So let's read further. MP up max. Now this is going to confuse some people because so far we've seen nothing but physical damage. There's a reason for the MP up. We'll keep going though. Fighting Spirit 3, so he's getting the strength and HP bonus, which the HP is needed, and why not have the strength too? Shadow's Protection, very unique here. Chance to reduce physical damage taken to 0. That's awesome. Now, keep in mind, it's a chance. It's probably a low chance. I wish the end game would tell you what the percentage is, but it's whatever. But it's like I said. Ideally, this is pretty cool on paper. He also has Illusion. Basically means you can be evading attacks, physical attacks. He also has Divinity Slayer, and this is actually a Slayer, so this will work with special boost. Physical attacks are effective against gods, dragons, spirits, and undead. So that's really cool. See, what I'm noticing about this guy, and you'll see as we go further down, this person is basically Logia, except for he fights from a distance, and he covers the type of things that Logia doesn't. So we'll see as we go down. Stun research and illness research. These are the two researches that Logia does not have in his kit. So if you put both of them in your party, you're gonna have the best of both worlds. Not only with the two different Slayer types, because remember Logia has the other Slayer that does like a bunch of 4 or 5 other things that's not on the Divinity one. So you basically are getting a wide variety of just extra damage depending on the character. Moving along, he has auto regen, so he's again getting more HP, which is why you can definitely afford to cast Book. You're getting Spirit Breath, which obviously when you're gaining life, especially if you have Theory on your team and she's healing you too, you're gonna get that ST faster, getting more skills off faster. Really, really good. Goddess Kiss, which is basically what I was talking about earlier. Regular attacks have a chance to absorb 2% MP. You definitely want that to keep you topped up. And then Blood Force, regular attacks have a chance to absorb 20% HP. Again, more ways to gain HP. Terramouth 1 and 2, which Logia also has. Maglion, which is that ability that basically the further you are away, the more damage you can deal. So, like I said, he attacks from a distance. So Logia will be at the front, and then V will be in the back. So pretty cool. Thaumaturgy Ring, which is the higher the magical power, the more powerful the physical attack. So this is why he has an increase to his intelligence, because what happens is a certain percentage of your intelligence gets added to your physical damage, which is pretty cool. I actually like this pretty good. There's another thing you can also add that does something similar to this. I forgot what it's called. But I want to say that those two abilities do stack. I mentioned it in my video about Zalorg. So if you want to know what it was, just watch that Zalorg video. I think I mentioned what the other ability that's similar to that is. We also have Quick Play. This is movement speed up, battle start, recover 5 seconds of all skills. SCT. Why not? I like that a lot. That's one of those things. It's basically like your skill up 1, 2, and 3, but all together, it's pretty cool. It might even include your special, so that's even better. We got Piercing, because why not? We have Trigger Heart, which is the attack specials have a chance to cause crit damage. Special damage was 30%. We got Decoy, so, we're not going to die automatically. We got Death God, which is something you rarely see in with most characters, but basically physical attacks have a chance to deal instant death. You're only going to see this basically like when you're doing like the adventure stages or whatnot. It doesn't apply to bosses or arena, but it's still nice to have just in general. And then paranoia, which is another skill that Logia has, when given a new status element to an enemy, recover a little SCT because why not? So yeah, the cool thing about paranoia is I believe this might stack with nightmare manifestation. But basically, well, actually, no, that just lowers their resistance. Never mind. But basically, it'll help you to get to this paranoia much faster. So that's pretty cool. I, Overall, this is a fantastic character. I am gotten to the point where I just love debuffer. This is why I actually gave a lot of hype for Logia when it first came out, which is why I was terribly saddened that I never pulled Logia. And actually, I've technically never pulled him. I've actually, the only reason I have Logia right now is because of the New Year ticket. Without that, I still wouldn't have him. He was the one character I wanted more than any other character that I never got. So that's kind of interesting. And we got this guy right here who's basically just like Logia, except for he has the things that Logia doesn't. They basically complement each other because they are each kind of doing their own part while doing the same role. It's really cool. I am looking forward to building this guy up, putting him in a team with Logia and Nocturne Tinkeely, who is another debuffer that I really love. She's more of the elemental debuffer, but why not have the best of both worlds and just go to town? It's so awesome. I can't wait to get this guy fully built up. And I'm still building Logia as well, so he's still a work in progress, but I'm mostly finished. Just a few minor things like his SC cost needs to go up a bit and he needs to be awakened. But other than that, we're good. But yeah, obviously of the three, looking at skills, this is my favorite, and I'm glad I pulled him. Again, I didn't know at first he was going to be this good, but yeah, this guy is fantastic. He's not just dealing damage, he's debuffing, and I love that. So yeah, this I got the one I want. I don't even really need to do any pulls in all general. I mean, I want the arcs, and that's pretty much it. I can do without Dante, but if I happen to get it, that's cool. I am gonna do a pull in this video. I have some of those collab tickets that I'm gonna use once I'm done talking about some other stuff, and so you'll be able to see if I pull something else. But as far as characters are concerned, I got what I want now. If I pull Dante, it would just be kind of an added bonus, just because I'm familiar with the character. But as far as like usable characters, he's the one that I want, and I got him. All right, arc time. Let's take a look at this. This is the nefarious usurper Urizen. All right, this is basically one of the bosses of the bad guys of Devil May Cry. Makes perfect sense. Dark attack damage plus 20%. Now, I'm going to stop right there. You can tell that this arc, just by the beginning, is meant for V because most of his skills are dark attack. Moving along. Chance for physical attacks to greatly lower enemies' defense and deal damage. Chance for skill attacks to nullify guard. Strength rises as HP drops. Max strength plus 30%. So this is actually a really good arc. I would definitely use this for tower, uh, maybe even boss battles too. But I would attach it to specific characters like V. That's literally where it's going to. So I already like it just by the skill or the arc attribute already. Let's take a look at what you can learn though, because that's also important. Crit up 2, okay. Shockwave, this is the one that basically nullifies enemy guard. The only time this really matters is when you're fighting against Lance Evil in the tower. That's really the one time it matters more than anything else, because it can be a pain without it. But yeah, it's a decent ability. Really underrated, but it's not really needed most of the time. Demon's Throne. When special gauge is full, long range physical damage plus 30%. Again, this is specifically for V. Obviously, there are other characters that like to attack from a distance, like, what's her name? Guardian Angel Lukiel. She would love this too. So you don't forget there are other characters that could use this, but I'm thinking V right now because a lot of this is special for him. Dark Attack Raise. So if you don't already have it, you could get it here. Dark High Drive, which is definitely going to be new for us to have. Dark Physical and Special Attack Power 30%. Really good. I would definitely give that to Mr. V. This is the power for 7SC. Skill power rises based on current skill stock. At max skill stock of 6, skill damage 20%. So I mentioned in an older video that there was going to be a reason to have like skill stock because for me personally, the skill stock skills didn't really matter. I was like, I don't really need all this. I'm going to be burning through it before I can get to max for the most part. But then other things started coming out with, added bonuses to skill stock. And then I think there was even an ability that did something depending on skill stock. So I was like, okay, so something's coming that's going to be big where it's going to matter. And this is it right here. This is the power. So this is something that you can combo with all the stock skill stuff, and that'll help you deal some really, really good damage. I think that you'll need a large. This is going to be basically a build. It's going to be a kit, kind of like how you have the crit package, the attack package. This is going to be the skill stock package. That's what you're going to use. So you're going to be spending quite a bit of SC if you want to get this together. Up to you to decide if it's worth it or not. I might try it just because I'm curious. Assuming that I get the arc, I might not. I don't plan on spending much as far as gems on this because I actually spent too much trying to get Lilibet. Let's just say I had to pity her. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. But anyway, um, I still think that's a really good skill, though. I think it's really, really interesting. It has a lot of potential. Let's take a look at the Arc Ether reward, the Forbidden Fruit. Oh wow, take me back to Sunday school. Anyway, this is a accessory, 6 stars, 750 HP. Once per quest in the boss wave, when HP is 15% or less, greatly recover HP. You get strength and defense plus 75%, but unit dies after 40 seconds. So this is kind of like a last hurrah kind of a thing. So as long as you're using a character that can resurrect, like say Lukiel or you know Theria, or you just have another mage that can cast resurrect of some type, I think this is still going to be okay for you, just because you're going to be able to get a benefit of it. Although, is it worth like dumping your Ethereum on? I'm going to say no. This is one of those things that if you happen to get it naturally, it's cool. But I don't really think this is good enough to be considered like a top tier item. I just think it's a cool idea, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to push for this. Because again, you're not getting really much of a boost in any kind of offense as far as like strength or intelligence or anything like that. You're just getting HP, which kind of feels like it feels like it's not necessary to get HP when this is based off of you dying. So yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I think it's a cool thing if it goes off, but other than that, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. But that's just me. Right. But despite the fact that I'm not super hype on the Aether reward, everything else about this arc is great. I love the skills you can learn. I love the attributes. It's definitely going to be a good tier, especially if you're fighting bosses, doing tower, stuff like that. I think this will be good to have, specifically on certain characters. I'll say it like that. As a matter of fact, you may even be able to do this for Blade BB Shen, because remember he can get dark damage as well with his skills. So just imagine being able to kind of use that with this arc, and there are probably like a couple others that could benefit too. So not bad overall. I actually really like this arc, though. I would like to get that. Let's take a look at the other LR, Devil May Cry Mobile Office, which okay, interesting name. Let's see if this is any good. Arc attribute: when defeating an enemy, recover 5 seconds of SCT. In the event the legendary Devil Hunter increased recovery by max 7 seconds based on style rank. At boss wave start, recover 40 MP. When combo is 50 hits or more, physical damage to airborne enemies plus 30%. This is very specific. um, Pretty sure this is specifically for Nero. Can't think of anyone else that would really benefit. I mean, as far as in the collab, at least, this is specifically for Nero as far as the attribute is concerned. Moving along, we got some things to look at. Let's take a look at Curse Resist to learn. Machine Boost. I actually like Machine Boost because I don't have it. So that would be one of the reasons I'd want this art. We have Creature Shield. We have Auto Haste if you don't have it. Phone Booth. This is a 10 SC. Oh god, it's expensive. Well, what does it do? At boss wave start, unit recovers 50% HP, 30-second SCT, and 10% special gauge. I don't think this is worth it. Yeah, I don't think this is worth it. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those things where it's specifically for tower, I feel. Because, you know, you're going through a bunch of, like, floors, and you finally get to the last floor where you're almost out of hit points. This triggers where you recover your HP, and then, of course, you get some extra bonuses, but I don't know. That's for 10 SC. I don't think that's worth it. I'm not gonna lie. This looks like garbage to me. If you disagree and you can tell me why, I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm not buying that. Not for 10 SC. There's so many other things that's worth 10 SC. That's a lot better, in my opinion. But again, this is just very situational. Is how I feel about it. For 10. Anyway, purple orb 11 SC. Max skill stock +1. Now, I'm going to assume they're talking about all three. Because it doesn't specifically say it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3. It just says max skill stock +1. So, this is going to be one of two things. It's either +1 to all three or +1 to one of them randomly. But I would like to believe if it was only for one of them, they would specifically say either which one or to a random one. So I'm going to assume this is +1 stock for all three skills. Which, if that's the case, is pretty good, although it's 11 SC. So remember I talked about how you were going to be doing the skill stock package? It's going to be very expensive if you go there. I'm starting to think that maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. If I get this arc and I learn it, I'll test it out, but ugh, that's rough. That's a lot of SC that you're going to have to be dumping into just getting your skill stocks up. So yeah, that's debatable if that's going to be good or not. It's 11 SC. I think it's better than phone booth. I'll put it to you that way. It's a lot better than phone booth. That's why I'm still considering Purple Lord to be actually decent. But, ooh, yeah, that's going to be something that's dedicated right there. So, like I said, I'll try it if I get the arc. If I don't, it's not a big deal. Overall, I'm not feeling this arc. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is for very, very specific things. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Arc Aether reward. This actually might be good. Overture, isn't this like a skill or something? So, 6-star, Thunder, attribute machine, 187 strength and 15 defense. Thunder physical attack damage +20%. This is actually good. This is really good. You're getting a strength bonus. The defense is just an added bonus. Nothing really special. With the 187 strength is great. And the Thunder physical attack damage +20%. Really, really good. So, yeah, this is actually the best thing about this arc. 100%. Like, this actually makes his arc worth getting. Specifically for that. I like that. That's really good. Well then. Overall, I'll say it's because of the actual Aether Award, this is an okay one. This is kind of a mid-tier, I would say, as far as arcs are concerned. Because again, the arc attribute is very specific. Some of the skills are really out there. It's hard to really say. So I'll say it's mid-tier. Like I said, if I get it, I won't be upset, obviously, because there's some things I'd like to test, and I would really like to get that particular weapon. But yeah, it's weird. Now, the Nefarious Usurper Urizen, that is a fantastic arc. That's the arc you want. So, you might want to check that out. Now, before I talk about the whole, like, weapons and stuff you can get from the paid area, let's go ahead and do a gotcha pull. Because I know that's some of the things that people like to see. Although I'm doing it different this time. Like I said, I'm trying not to spend gems if I don't have to. That's something I'm specifically trying to save up for in the future. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use these DMC5 tickets and see what I can get. Well, this will be our 10 spin right here. No, I'm not getting any kind of bonus because I'm using 10. That doesn't, here it's just going to be random. So I'm not getting a guaranteed SR. This is just going to be whatever I get. So let's hope for some arcs, because that's what I want. Specifically that Urizen one. The Usurper. Alright, have we squatted up? No, we only got Theria. But you know what, Theria? You're my homie. Let's see what happens. Boom. Alright, we got one. We got 2 pictures. We got 3 pictures. We got yellow. And that's all we got is yellow. Alright. That's okay. What we're going to do right now is we're going to do it again with the last 5 I have. So once more, let's do the 5. Let's see what happens. The fact that I even got at least an SR is still pretty good. Oh, we got more people on the squad, right? How much we got? Oh, here we go. Everyone except Theria. So basically, Theria took a break, and now it's up to the others. So let's see what happens here. We got 1. We got yellow. And that's going to be it. So nothing super crazy. That's perfectly fine. No big deal. But yeah, I don't want to spend my gems this time. I've already spent thousands upon thousands of gems getting Miss Lilibet, which, by the way, Lilibet is 100% worth it. And yes, I have both of her paid items. We'll probably talk. I'll probably do like a video talk about maybe possible builds for her. There was someone on YouTube in the chat that commented about their build, which I thought was really good. So we'll probably do a video about her later. But let's talk about some equipment. Let's see if these credential items are worth it, and if you're only going to get 1 instead of the 2, which one should you get? Now we got 6 items to talk about, 2 for each character. So we'll start with the blue rose. This is for Nero. So this says it's 159 strength and 22 mind, which is okay for 5 stars. Skill aerial combo damage plus 25%. Physical attack damage kind of 500. So yeah, it's definitely for Nero because this is all about that aerial combat. So this is very specific. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed with this because it's only going to benefit from his skill 1, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I looked at skill 2 and 3 wrong, but I think the skill 1 is the only thing that's going to get a benefit from that. So I mean, you're mainly getting this for the 159 strength. But other than that, I mean, you're going to be lucky. Well, not really lucky because it's your S1, so you're going to be able to get it more often. So you're going to be really relying on like haste and things like that to make sure that you're getting it often enough. And then of course any kind of SCT charging. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling it personally. I wish it wasn't just aerial combo. I guess it'd be super broken if it wasn't, but let's take a look at the other item. Nero's coat. It is a cloth. 5 stars. Nero only. 500 HP, 53 strength, 113 defense, and 33 mind. Damage from beasts, creatures, undead, and spirits minus 5%. Once per wave when close to death, cast high protection. So I'm going to be honest, I actually like the coat better than I like the weapon. The only problem though, well, I don't know if it's a problem, but more of a decision you have to make. If I'm not mistaken, Nero comes with dual wield, right? I'll have to go back and check again, but I think he was the one character that had dual wield. So if you're dual wielding, which any character that can naturally dual wield, you want to use 2 weapons. So the fact that they have a cloth here is, I don't know. I think the cloth is great. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a lot better than the weapon, 100%. Like if assuming that you're okay with not dual wielding and you wanted to pick one of these 2 items, this is clearly the better item. You're still getting a strength boost, by the way, for a cloth, so that's already good. That's like Balin level good. With a good defense and good mind and some HP, I mean, this is really a good item. Like I said, to me, this is just me personally, I think it's 10 times better than that weapon. 100%. Oh, and you happen to get Blind Nil, which is actually super strong for a physical DPSer, and Dark Resistance plus 20, which is just an added bonus. Like, this is definitely a better item. So, if you're okay with just not dual wielding, which you can do that in this game, you don't have to do what the build tells you to do. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of this game. You can turn skills on and off. Some people forget that. You think you have to leave everything active. No, you don't. You turn things on and off. So if you don't want skill wheel or dual wheel, we don't necessarily have to turn it off. But you can just equip a clothing instead. I mean, again, this is to me a lot better. So, yeah, Nero's coat all the way. But you have to decide for yourself if it's worth losing, the extra potential damage. All right, Dante, let's see what weapons or stuff you have. So we have the Devil's Sword Dante. What a wonderful name for it. So 5-star, 176 on the strength. We got fire attributes, surprise, surprise. Physical attacks and specials have a chance to deal extra fire damage. Special damage cap 1000. I'll say it's decent. It's got a good strength for a 5-star, and the ability is, not something that's too situational. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'll say it's a decent item. Dante's coat. I'm gonna laugh if the coats are better than the weapons. They probably going to be. Let's see. Dante's coat. What a very unique name for it. Defense 141, mind 71. Damage from beasts, creatures, undeads, and spirits -5%. I'm seeing a pattern here. But this time you get continuous regen effect, which is actually kind of good. Getting auto regen, yeah, you know how much that SC auto regen cost? Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The question is this better than the sword? Well, shrugging damage by 5% from multiple types is actually really good. The continuous regen is super strong. Oh, you get 20 resistance to cold, by the way, which is just a bonus. It's nothing really that's going to define anything. This is kind of a coin toss. Like I said, I think the auto regen is really good. It's going to keep them alive for a good chunk of time. It's one of those things. I think this is the first time I'm going to say that you could go either way. I don't think that there's one that's clearly better than the other. Because the weapon is really good, don't get me wrong. I think that the 176 strength for a 5-star is good. Um, the physical attacks and specials having a chance to do extra fire damage is kind of the thing that makes it like not 100% better. If it was guaranteed, then I would say this is definitely better. But the fact that there's a chance kind of makes it to where, okay, not as broken as it could be. The only thing that's guaranteed is a special damage cap of 1,000, but again, you have to get to your special. So that's something that's going to take a while. So this one, honestly, it's going to be more a matter of preference. I don't think there's a clear winner between these two. And usually I can say that one's better than the other one. This is kind of a toss-up. I'll let that be up to you. That's about my boy V. That's right. Take a look at his head. He's got the pimp cane. Oh, I'm sorry, V's cane. I apparently I can't read. I got to get better glasses. So for V only, this is a dark attribute staff. Strength 51, intelligence 176, mind 74. This is going to confuse people because they're like, wait a minute, he's a physical damage dealer. Why does he need a staff? First off, he's a pimp. He needs a pimp cane first and foremost. So that's what that is all about. But in all seriousness, the increased intelligence is going to be added to his physical, at least a percentage of it. So that's what they're doing here. Basically, you're getting a guaranteed 51% strength and then a percentage of the 176 of your intelligence becoming added to your physical strength damage. Whew, anyway, mouthful. Regular attacks have a chance to inflict poison, blind, silence, curse, illness, or stun. So if the research abilities that he naturally has is not enough, this particular weapon makes sure it will make sure that this happens. Which kind of sucks because I actually like this weapon. And I'm trying not to use gems, but I may have to use paid gems just to get this particular cane. That's actually really good. I'm not even done reading. When defeating an enemy, recover 5-second SCT. Okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, this is actually super strong because you're thinking, oh, you're only getting 51 strength. No, you're getting 51 strength plus whatever percentage is cut off from a third. I forgot the name of it already. Whatever, that ring that basically adds, a percentage of your intelligence to your attack strength. That right there is basically increasing your strength by more. You have the option to cast spells if you really wanted to, but you're not going to use this guy to cast spells, except for the one that's already in his kit. But if you want to be unique and do magic, you can, like actual offensive magic, but you don't need to with this guy. Again, you're just getting more of a boost, is what it boils down to. You're raising your intelligence to potentially deal more damage when he's doing his skills, attacks, and whatnot. And the 74 mine is an added bonus. The fact that his dark attribute is good, especially if you give him a dark attack raise, which I highly recommend, and dark high rise or whatever it's called. Yeah, this is actually a really good weapon. This is the weapon that of the three is actually the best in my opinion. Like all of this is good, all of it. Like yeah, it makes him be better at debuffing than he already is because it covers other things he doesn't have. Anyway, let me move on from this thing and talk about his coat because obviously the coats apparently are good for these people. So, V's coat. He has 62 intelligence because why not? Defense 97, a mind 146. Really good defensive stuff here. When revived, strength, defense, intelligence, and mind plus 25% on the unit. Oh, and you get stun resist, which is good. But I don't know how I feel about this coat. This is the one coat that I'm actually the least excited about. I'm not really too big on Dante's either. But, I don't know. The increase in intelligence is good, mainly because you're adding more to that maturity ring thing to help with your damage. Although I wish they would just not go around it and just give it strength. But anyway, I get what they're doing here because it would be too broken if everything was increasing his strength by itself. He would be dealing just max damage all the time. So to lower the amount of damage he does, they're using the intelligence to tune him down. His character is a lot more devastating than he looks on paper. That's why I'm really digging this guy. But man, when revived, I mean, it's not horrible, but I don't think I would put this on like a very tier type of item. 100% the cane is better. 100% better. 100% better. So you want the cane on this one. Yeah. That's a really, really good item, specifically for him. Really, really good. Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's talk just a little bit, just briefly about the event that's going on. It's right now we're kind of just on the chill mode. We're just oh, I love the fact they got the music, by the way. Completely forgot about that. So let me go and get distracted real quick and just say that when they do their collabs, especially for video games, they go hard. The background of the levels are of the game. The music from the game. They did this in Secret of Mana as well. That's how hardcore these devs go with the video game collabs. They incorporate the backgrounds. They incorporate the music. They incorporate like sometimes like character like enemies from the game itself. They do such a good job, and that's why I love the video game collabs. To me, they're 10 times better than the anime collabs. Don't get me wrong, anime is cool. I like anime. I watch anime, and most of the collabs have been good. There's only one that I don't care for. We're not going to talk about it, but these video game ones, they really go all out, in my opinion. These are just the best. But anyway, let's go back to what I was trying to say. So what you want to do basically is clear these stages. Right now we're in easy mode. So even for the newer players, you should be able to clear this content as well. Once you cleared all the content, I would recommend doing the level 18 one, Distant Throne, because you can get tickets and coins because you want those, or medals. Go to the metal to basically buy stuff at the shop you need. The problem with just fighting this one is that you're not getting coins, you're only getting tickets. So you're better off getting the best of both worlds by just fighting in the Distant Throne. And then once you get your tickets saved up, come to the extra challenge. And then I would recommend whichever character that you want to focus on, fight that particular one. So since I have V, I will be doing the dark haired devil summoner in. I will be just fighting that one. And then you'll get like one soul shard for this guy each fight, plus some more of your event medals. Now, if you have multiple of these characters and you don't care which shard you get, but you want to get two at a time, do the level 41, those who hunt devils normal, because the one time that I did it, I did it twice, I think, and I got two shards instead of just one shard for whichever character that I got it for. It's actually random though. That's the only downside. This is only good for people who have multiple characters and don't mind. But since I only have one and I'm focusing on the one, I'm gonna focus on this one instead. So kind of just take a look at it and just gotta go back and forth. Pretty cool. Man, the music's cool too. Anyway, I love video game collabs. Thank you, devs. Adis, y'all did really, really good. Also, please thank Capcom. Capcom is the one that owns the rights to Devil May Cry. That's basically what that whole thing is. And they're the ones that basically gave the green light to say, yeah, go ahead and throw our stuff in there. Let's make it happen. And they worked on it for so long. Thank you, Adis, for making my dreams come true and adding another video game collab. No, it's not the one that I asked for, but the fact that we did one is great. And honestly, that's just kind of what I want. if nothing else, go back and forth. Do the next collab could be an anime, and then the next collab after that could be another video game. Just kind of go back and forth if you can. I know licensing can be kind of annoying depending on what you're trying to get. So I feel you there, but if you can, try to go back and forth between anime and video game collabs. This is great. I'm so happy. Thank you, Adis, for making this happen. Thank you, Capcom, for allowing this. Yeah, super duper awesome. All right. I probably talked for a long time. It's probably a long video. If you've made it this long, thank you for actually taking the time to listen to me talk for so long. I know it can get boring after a while, so I appreciate your time because you can be doing so many other things, watching so many other videos. There are so many YouTubers now doing Last Cloudia vids, so you've got a variety of choices to watch, or you can just watch all of us. Either way, hopefully the information I give you was, informative, helpful in some way. And until the next time we do a video, keep gaming. Take care, y'all. Later.